What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is your man Dre Mac with another episode of the Dre Mac Podcast Show.
What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is your man Dre Mac with another episode of the Dre Mac Podcast Show. And today I'm going to be breaking down episode 9 of WandaVision and just my overall thoughts of this limited series that's coming from Disney Plus. And if this is your first time checking out this podcast, this video podcast, this audio podcast, make sure that you're subscribing to the YouTube channel. All you got to do is, if this is your first time, all you got to do is hit the bell notification and hit subscribe so you can never miss an episode of the Dre Mac Show when I pop on live and I do these type of videos. Whenever you see one of my videos pop up, at least you could be able to watch it live. Excuse me, I'm getting choked up. And you could be able to check me out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Speaker Radio, wherever really you listen to podcasts at, you can be able to check me out. So today, again, I am doing WandaVision, doing episode 9. This is a spoiler review, so spoilers ahead. This is just my overall breakdown of this show. I'm going to first start by talking about a lot of the actual characters first, because I'm gonna do the review first, but then I'm gonna go into each individual character and kind of break down each individual character as I see, not each and every one of them, but just the main characters and stuff like that. So we kind of talk about them and the future of Disney Plus and these Disney Plus shows. And I know a lot of people were kind of disappointed because certain reveals, like the Evan Peters reveal, wasn't exactly what you thought it was going to be or whatever, because he ended up being Ralph, the Ralph that we've been talking about, we've been looking for the whole entire time, that Agatha the Harkness was actually talking about it. We found out who Ralph was and this episode. And a lot of people were upset, like, oh, they didn't have Doctor Strange, oh, they didn't have Mephisto, oh, they didn't have this, oh, they didn't have that. Pump your brakes for a second, Junior. It's going to be all right. I honestly believe that the MCU is in really good hands with Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige don't make mistakes. Kevin Feige does not do something or introduce something for no particular odd reason. In a prime example is the guy who was getting yelled at in Iron Man. The first Iron Man movie comes back in Spider-Man Far From Home as the guy who was helping out Mysterio with all the tech and stuff like that. Just be cool for a second, y'all. Just be cool. I know a lot of MCU fans were so excited about having Evan Peters in the MCU, and what does that say about Fox? And of course, I got caught up in it too, until I just actually turned around and just rewatched this whole entire thing and started to notice that, would you really dump an ace in a hole like a real X-Men character from another universe? Let's think about it for a second. You want the MCU, you want the Disney Plus shows to do well, right? But you don't want to take away from the main character, and that's what I'm going to get with when I start talking about episode 9. You don't want it to deviate from the actual narrative in which you're talking about as far as storytelling. When you look at these type of shows and films, and especially when it comes to comic book films, and one reason why a lot of people are bagging on DC is because of storytelling. It has to be cohesive storytelling where you can sit back and be like, that makes a lot of sense now. Oh, that makes sense. the one reason why people load up and get comic books, and I'm gonna just pull a couple of my comics out, just so you can kind of get an understanding. I think what I'm gonna pull out. Okay, so I'm gonna pull out this for you guys. And of course, if you listen to this, you can't see this, so I'm gonna tell you. This is the reason why I pulled these out. Now, this is Luke Cage, Hero for Hire. This is Luke Cage number 8. This is from his first series, right? This is the Hero for Hire. This is Luke Cage going against getting hired by Dr. Doom, right? And this is Luke Cage number 9, right? Where he actually fights Dr. Doom. Don't let that cover fool you. This is what I like about Marvel and storytelling, and what I'm about to get with when we start breaking down episode 9. In this particular comic, and I'm not going to spoil it for people who have not seen this, have not read this comic. What's up, Christian? My man Christian McDonald. Make sure you guys are checking out the Not Average Podcast Show. Make sure you guys are subscribing to that. It's on YouTube. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Not Average Podcast, man. Check it out. It's awesome. So in this particular Luke Cage, give you the synopsis. This classic Luke Cage is he's been hired by Dr. Doom to go handle some business, right? And of course, at that time, Luke Cage was a hero for hire. Remember, this is from like the 70s. So when you looking at this particular comic and you read it, man, when I tell you this is probably, I'm not gonna lie to you, this particular comic, these two comics right here is one of the funniest things I've ever read in my whole entire life. Why? Because of the writing. Because of the writing and the premise of storytelling. And sometimes when we get caught up in these shows, the reason why we get caught up in shows because of storytelling. People like Power, people like Empire, people like what is that? The P-Valley, because of storytelling, right? We get caught up in the stories because the stories are so fascinating. You know what I'm saying? So we get caught up in those particular stories, and that's the reason why we like them so much, because of storytelling. So in episode 9 of this is the culmination of storytelling. This is the season finale. The episode is actually called the season finale, where we see the pickup from episode 8, where you see Agatha the Harkness has Billy and Tommy by the neck, and really what she wants to do is allow Wanda to use her power so she can absorb her power, which we've seen in episode 8. So she, starts to absorb the power and stuff like that. But one thing you start noticing is that Wanda has got a couple of tricks up her sleeve, and you also see White Vision, the original Vision, now created by director Hayward, and the created Vision that Wanda created. And in episode 8, man, you've seen how everything was created. You felt for Wanda. Wanda was just going through. And this is actually what I really like about what this culminated is you go through the 5 stages of grief. And that's probably what they really, the underlying tone is, going through the 5 stages of grief. And, in this particular episode, now you got to be able to save the people of Westview, which, Agatha is telling her, you are the Scarlet Witch that was told to us in the Darkhold. You are this. And they actually, that book is now confirmed as being the Darkhold. I don't believe it's a book that was stolen by Doctor Strange, but we never know, because the Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness is coming out exactly next year in March of 2022. So we don't know exactly if that was the book that was stolen, that was in the library where Doctor Strange was reading a lot of books that are not. We don't know. But with that being said, she has the Darkhold. And Chthon is the writer of the Darkhold. He's a entity in Marvel Comics who is the architect of chaos magic. Doctor Strange actually uses where he pulls the magic from another dimension. It's order magic, so chaos, order. There you go. He's yin and yang, the opposite and positive of or the positive and the negative of the magic that they're pulling from and they're using. And Wanda's actually using the chaos magic. So basically, Agatha the Hardness at this particular time is trying to bait her to use her magic so she can absorb her magic properly. And at the same time, you have Vision and Vision fighting. And when I tell you this was good, man, I was so excited about just that dynamic of how they were going to use. Like basically, you have one Vision trying to punch the other Vision. He'll phase into him, and then you know what I'm saying, solidify his body so he can move and stuff like that. Very excellent choreographed fight. You have when Vision, and the funny part is that when Wanda sees Vision and he's all white now let's be honest with you. Let me be real 100 with you. That white version of Vision looks like the dude from Powder. I don't care what nobody says. That's Powdered Donut Vision. Vision needs a color swap, or he's like you know how you download suits on like Spider-Man, the Sony game? He's the Spider-Man downloaded suit character. Man, that dude needs some color. But so they going at it and stuff like that. And Wanda walks up to Vision and she's like, Vision? And she gets suckered because that's actually the real Vision. The body of Vision. He doesn't have the soul. He's still soulless, you know, but that is who that is. So he walks up to Wanda and starts rubbing her face, Wanda. And then the other hand comes over like and starts cracking her face and starts holding her up like I kind of do my kids. No, don't take that seriously. I just be joking. But hold him up. You know what I'm saying? And then here come the other Vision. Bow! Threw him into a truck. Explosion. Dude walks out like the T-100 or T-1000. Dope stuff. Dope stuff. And you still got Agatha and Wanda kind of going at it. So Agatha, what she does, she starts to make sure that all the people in Westview remember what happened, what's going on. So she turns around, bam, opens up everybody's eyes. And they're coming to Wanda like, dude, you did this. You know, I can't even sleep because when I sleep, I have your dreams, your nightmares. And one woman comes up and was like, can I just please just see my daughter? You have my daughter locked up. Like, this is horrific, which I'm going to get on Wanda in a minute. When I start breaking down my characters, I got something for Wanda. But so she's letting them know, like, dude, you know, she was like, you're making them say this. Like, I ain't making them say nothing. These are your meat puppets. I'm just exposing to you what's going on. So she's talking, you know, and it's I always say if villain monologue, but it's through the mouths of these people. Like, dude, you're making us do what you want us to do. You know what I'm saying? I can't even see my kids. I can't do this. I'm sick of it, and I'm tired. Wanda just screams out, bow. And at this time, they're opening up the hex, and now as she opens up the hex, Vision and Vision is fighting, and then the creative Vision that was created by Wanda now is starting to disintegrate, which is dope because he starts to look like Lego pieces is falling apart, which is I think it's Joe Pisana's cover from the House of M storyline, which I looked at my House of M storyline. I'm so mad that I actually do not have that particular cover, but anyway, so they go in and and Agatha says either you can save the people in Westview and lose your family, or save your family and keep this whole charade up. But I'm going to get that power. I'm munching on your magic. That goes back to that. I think it's episode 7. The Yo Magic. She's the one. She was the shark that was trying to munch on Wanda's magic, trying to take Wanda's magic. So she says she's undeserving of that type of power. But if the power was so scary, then why did she want that power so bad? You know, she knew what Wanda was because she said in the Darkhold, you are an entity that is formed. Dope lines, though. I'm going to tell you this. The writing on this was so incredible. I'm not going to lie. There's some lines, there's some looks of this show where I don't think people are going to appreciate it as much, or probably not going to appreciate the next year, which is Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I will be covering. I don't think you guys are going to appreciate it as much because of everything that you see in this show and in this film. It's really incredible, y'all. And when I tell you incredible, it's really incredible. So she stops doing it, stops closes up the hex, but that gives time for Director Hayward to come in with the military and stuff like that. So now Wanda has to face not only the military, Agatha the Hardness, and the White Vision. Where now, which is good though, because now you get a classic look, and they did a pose, and I wish Deadpool was there so he could like shrag a pose, because they did the pose from The Incredibles, which is a callback from episode 7, when the movie theater was playing The Parent Trap and The Incredibles. So they did the pose from The Incredibles, which was kind of awesome. So now the kids are fighting the military. Wanda's fighting Agatha, and then Vision is now fighting the White Vision. So they did a move where they start showing the kids power. So Billy, who is Wiccan in the comics, does a spell to freeze all the military, while Tommy, which is Speed in the comics, goes and grabs all the weapons and stuff like that, and he grabs the glasses and the hat of one of the guys from the military, which was a callback to me from X-Men's Pietro Maximoff, where he did basically the same thing in the scene of Days of Futures Past. And I'm gonna get with the Evan Peters character, stuff like that. And in the midst of all of this, I keep forgetting Snooper's going to Snoop. So you got Evan Peters' character, who is, at this particular time now, him and Wanda's basically got Peter basically got him locked up in his house, and he kind of finds out, he's looking through this rubble or whatever, like, wait a minute, your name is, this is not Agnes's house. This is your house. You're Ralph Boner? And he was like, Boner, which, because I find out one of the directors of the show, actually, because he was on one of the earlier 80s shows, I think it was like The 10 of Us or whatever, is a show that didn't last a season. He ended up being kind of doing that as an Easter egg, because I think he was on Growing Pains, and that was just a reference to the Growing Pains. So we find out that Evan Peters' character is actually named Boner, Ralph Boner, and he was an expiring actor who was past due on his bills. So she found out, and this is what I really like about Monica's powers, because she was able to see the kinetic energy from magic also. And people's like, how can she see that it's magic? Well, if it's a form of energy, if we're pulling this from a dimension, there's matter that creates certain things like radio waves and magic. Radiation has a certain type of energy, connected energy, that's associated with that, according to science. So of course, if she's pulling her magic from a different dimension, she can actually see the magic that's going around her, around the necklace that she sees. So she sees a necklace, it grows purple, she snatches the necklace off. Now he's like, oh snap, what I do, don't hurt me. And that's the end of that. And I'm gonna get you, I don't think Kevin Feige cast Evan Peters as a one-off. For one, I do not believe that that's a one-off scenario. Understand where I'm getting at on this one when I get to the characters. So again, we go back and Wanda's like, yo, mommy got some things to do. Bow. So she started using her magic against Agatha, and now she started to do the same things that she did to all the Avengers and Age of Ultron. So she does a little creepy move and does the wiggly woos and gets inside of Agnes's head now. So she's inside of Agnes's head, trying to find out, where this goes, what's all this about. So she goes back to the Salem Witch trial, and again, her covenant comes back to life, which I think is a nod to Marvel Zombies, and I believe they're going to do Marvel. They're going to do Marvel Zombies in the What If stories is coming. I believe that's later on this year. The zombies of the witch trial comes back, and Agatha flips it on Wanda, and they start saying, "You're the Scarlet Witch. You're using this chaos magic. You're this. You're that." And Agatha Liz this line was like, look, people like us will always be haunted. They will always hate you. And you see the red crown start growing on her head, which I'm getting excited because again, comic book fan. Of course, I'm gonna get excited about the crown. Just like I would just tell you this, and I'm gonna show you guys this. And this mug is now, believe I got it. Yep. I'm gonna show you this. When you guys finally see this, and I'm showing you guys this for a reason. This is Black Panther Dark Reign #1. The reason why I'm showing you this because this is the first time Shuri was the Black Panther in that look. So when I see this look, I'm going to geek out. This is the variant cover of that, right? And it's sad because after Chadwick Boseman's passing, the price of these comics went completely sky high, which they were already going to be sky high. The first cover was sky high because that was the first introduction of Shuri as Black Panther. But so when you see the character on screen now and they're teasing the outfits from the comics, we get excited about that. The nerds, the geeks, the blurs, the fanatics of these shows, I'm getting excited like, oh snap. So one thing that I did like, they fly up in the air. Wanda's like, I don't want it, take it. So she starts feeding her power, and she starts throwing her power towards her and the walls. At first, I'm like, is she just? I know she's not missing, but it turns to an episode of Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? Where they just throwing powers at each other. Don't tell me you can't make a Dragon Ball Z movie, y'all. And that's decent, not that crap Dragon Ball Evolution. Don't tell me you can't make a Dragon Ball Z movie because they did that on a $25 million budget. Y'all can make, or a $25 million a show budget. Ooh, but don't tell me what you can't do. But anyway, so they going at it, they duking it out, and I see Wanda just throwing balls. Boom, 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 throwing balls at her until she's all zombie-like. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Agatha is like, ha, 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 ha. Now I have all your power. And then she's trying to make a move like, and no power is coming out. So you see Wanda starting to heal from looking like a zombie, which was dope. Special effects was so awesome in this show. So she's healing up. And then you see her say the witch that the cast of Hex can only use her magic. The same thing that Agatha did to her. And she said, don't tell me who I am. I already know who I am. Boom. And all the beam of energy comes. And here comes all this energy that she's soaking up from now Agatha. And all the energy around her to become finally the Scarlet Witch. And, you know, Agatha, the hardness is like, you just don't know what you've just done. You have no idea what you just done. You know what I'm saying? And then Wanda's, Sokovian accent comes back for some strange reason. Again, she said that accent comes and goes. And I get it because it makes more sense now that her family was trying to learn English from sitcoms. So, of course, this is where you get that at. So, you know, after the witch duel, she sucked out her powers. You have the Vision versus Vision, you know, in between that. And he starts using a quote. I think it's not Prometheus, Prometheus, but this is a boat quote. If you start replacing the boat in the what is that? In the wood in the boat, is it still the original boat? If you basically restore, you can't be one and the same. Either you're the original or you're a copy, or you're none of the both. So they have an intellectual conversation to end their fight, which was so Vision. If you know any of the comics and stuff like that, that's Vision. You know what I'm saying? An intellectual conversation to be able to, you know what I'm saying, to kind of break the fight. And that's stuff that happens in the comic books. So Vision, the one that was created by Wanda, was told him, you have the memories in your database. So don't let them think that you don't have everything in you. Let me basically touch you. Let me restore you. Bam, restores all his memories. Powder Vision goes flying off. Maybe he went to Avengers HQ. Maybe he went to the set of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We have no idea where he flew off to. We just know he flew off. Maybe he's going back to Sword headquarters. You know what I'm saying? To find more information out. Director Hayward gets smashed by a truck by Darcy. Wanda saves the children dude. Director Hayward shot at kids. I'm gonna get to Director Hayward though, but Director Hayward unloaded a 9mm clip on a bunch of kids. And Monica Rambeau was able to save these kids by using the kinetic energy that comes off of the bullets, phasing it through her body, and stopping the bullets. In the last bullet, Billy pulled a Neo, stopped the bullet in midair, and just like, yeah. So now it's time for Wanda to say goodbye. She tucks the kids in, and she says a line was like, "Thank you for allowing me to be your mother." Which was a little bit foreshadowing. And maybe they won't do it exactly like the comics, because in the comics, Billy and Tommy is resurrected in another woman's they're resurrected through other means. They were born mutants from two different families. They end up coming back, and they come to find out that they were Shards of Mephisto, and they found out that Wanda Maximoff was their mother and stuff like that. But I don't think they're going to do that based on the end credit scene, which I'm gonna get to that in just a second. But my man Vision is in the sleek turtleneck, talking about, saying, who am I? He's like, who am I? And she says something that was very, very clever storytelling, and it made a lot more sense. She was like, you're the piece of the infinity, the mind stone that lived in me. So when she created him as a piece of the mind stone that she got exposed to. So that yellow light was not only the foretelling of her being the Scarlet Witch, but it was a little bit of that kinetic energy from the mind stone that was inside of her. That made more sense. Was like, all I feel is you, because you are a part of the minds. When he had the mind stone in his hand, and I'm going back to Avengers Infinity War, and they were having their conversation. She was like, what do you feel? And when she went to go touch the mind stone, she's like, all I feel is you. That's the callback, because all that energy from the mind stone was inside. It was pieces of the Infinity Stone. They actually kind of like just gave her a power boost, basically, because she already had the power. It just kind of amplified it just a little bit. But that's why she's like, I feel you, because you're a part of the mind stone. And so when she created this vision in the hex, in the House of M style type of hex, she created him because the mind stone, shards of the mind stone, was still in her. So technically she can recreate the mind stone. And she created this whole entire complex structure inside of Westview, manipulated everybody's mind. That means she can actually recreate the Infinity Stones. I'm about to get to something, because this is a theory of mine. Because in Endgame, in Avengers Endgame, Thanos reduced the Infinity Stones to atoms, right? To atoms. If Scarlet Witch can recreate a vision basically inside of this hex, what would she do if she actually hexed the whole entire world, or recreate the real House of M, recreate a version of this Earth, which is now a multiverse, or just recreates the actual Infinity Stones, because she actually could manipulate matter. And if they were reduced to atoms, atoms is a part of matter, because you have to have protons and neutrons to be able to create matter. You see what I mean? You kind of getting what I'm saying, y'all? She can literally be the bridge to be able to bring back the Infinity Stones, because one thing that the Ancient One said in Endgame, when she was talking to Bruce on the roof, was, take one Infinity Stone out, and now you have all these branched realities is getting ready to start. Not that they're stopping, it distracts the flow of time, the way the flow of time is working. So you got this flow of time that's going all over the place, because Thanos reduced he destroyed the stones with the stones. So instead of going back in time to get the stones, you can actually have Wanda recreate the stones. She already was exposed to the Mind Stone, and the Mind Stone that was used by Ultron, that Ultron knew to create. Well, actually, let me take that back. Shards of the actual Mind Stone was able to create Ultron. That's why he was so intelligent and so smart. But there was some cosmic power that was given to Wanda on purpose to be able to create things out of nothing. That's a matter manipulator where you could be able to create anything from nothing. And that is something like Franklin Richards does. Franklin Richards, who is the son of Reed and Sue Richards, can create matter and create a pocket universe from nothing, from his mind. He could just create it. So this is a phase of someone who's a Nexus being, who is a being that no matter how many multiverses is, she's the one constant to be able to bring those Mind Stones, to get the Infinity Stones back, so the flow of time could be redirected and recreated, so you have a linear line of worlds. That's why the multiverse of madness is going to be able to have all these branch realities, all these different times. All of this is going to be some crazy stuff that is getting ready to happen. But let me digress. So she's got to say goodbye to the kids, so they took the kids away. And when she's explaining the vision, who she is, this is her final goodbye. She knows she can't continue to live this lie. So she has to say goodbye to the person that she loves, which is at this time is Vision, and her kids. She has to say goodbye. So the world around her that she created is going bye-bye. And, Vision, it was just good storytelling, good acting. Vision sheds a tear, even though he's a Centroid being that actually literally has living tissue. He does have living tissue because remember, Dr. Choi, when she was creating that, when she created that machine, when she was fixing on Hawkeye in Age of Ultron, she was like, I'm using your tissue to recreate your tissue. So I'm using you to create you, so you won't even be tell apart. She used real tissue to create Vision. So that's why she was like bones and wires and flesh and blood, of something that I created, of a memory of you. And he said, we'll see each other again. Don't worry. So I do believe that one day they're going to merge the mind of that soul, that portion of Wanda is going to eventually go back into Vision. But I believe they're going to say that for a movie. All right. So she says goodbye. The world around her is destroyed. You see Vision, the one that she created, has to go bye-bye. And it was cool the way that they did it. Her kids is gone, and she's by herself. So you got Monica, and then I think I see Jesse's question. Who was the sister though? Because she had powers. I missed that part. That's Monica Rambeau. That's if you go back and watch Captain Marvel, that's the little girl Maria Rambeau's daughter, who goes by the name of. She was actually the first Captain Marvel. She was. I think I posted this comic the last time that I did this. Because I have a whole thing exactly just what I call my Black comics, but this is her first introduction in Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 16, first introduction to Captain Marvel. That was that she was actually the first female Captain Marvel. Put it more like that. She's the first female Captain Marvel. So I kind of missed my spot. So she has to go bye-bye. So everybody in Westview was mugging the hell out of her, because I would too. And I'm going to get to, oh my God, I'm going to get to this. So she goes and talks to Monica. Monica said, if I had your power, I'll probably do the same thing too. And who's going to stop after she did all of this? Who's going to stop Monica? Who's going to stop Wanda? Now that she's a Scarlet Witch, I ain't going to do it. Bye, fly off, because I ain't got the firepower. I could have called Dr. Shade, but I don't know him. I don't know none of the Avengers. Right now, honestly, this is another comic, and I have it down there. They're really doing Avengers Disassemble right now. That's another comic that they're doing because House of M, Avengers Disassembled came first, then the House of M came next. So right now, the Avengers are not the Avengers because they're all scattered. Captain America's retired, old man Cap. You got Falcon and Winter Soldier that's going on their own little adventures that are Avengers. Thor is off with the Guardians of the Galaxy right now, doing God knows what on their adventures. You also have at this time, you have who am I missing? You have Scarlet Witch, doing her thing. Vision's dead. Iron Man's dead. Well, Vision is alive now. But he don't know who, he needs to go find himself. You have all this different things going on right now. You know what I'm saying? So literally, this is Avengers Disassemble. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna once they start introducing the Fantastic Four, and they'll probably when they finally introduce the mutants, that's when you're gonna see the new Avengers start coming out, which, you know what I'm saying, that's basically what they did in the comics, is the new Avengers. So let me see. So at the end, at the mid credits thing, you see Monica is talking to Jimmy Woo, Darcy left. So this FBI agent is like, hey, look, I need to go talk to you. We got a message for you. Let's go talk in the theater. So they go into the theater, they're talking to Monica Rambeau, and they're like, look, I got a message for you. She turns into a scroll. And I'm like, oh, snap, Secret Invasion. That's the only thing I can think of is Secret Invasion. Because now it's confirming that Talos and his wife is not the only scrolls on Earth. Oh my God. I'm getting excited just thinking about that. Because Secret Invasion, I got the Secret Invasion. Man, dude, I got the Secret Invasion down there too. So she's like, we got a message from your mom's old friend because I heard you was grounded. So it's like, what's the message? She was like, we need you up there. So she points up, and we're talking about in space. And I'm like, oh snap. Monica about to be on the base, and we about to, we got to find out what the beef between her and Captain Marvel is. We about to go see that. And I truly believe that she could have saved her mom. And she believes she could have saved her mom, and she didn't. That's why she had so much animosity coming back. I guarantee you she didn't see her mom through that whole entire time that she had cancer. I guarantee you, because she was too busy on other worlds. Like she said in Endgame, there's a lot more planets in here than just this one. And everybody is going through their own thing. So I'm trying to save everybody. But she couldn't save her own best friend. I think that's why Monica has so much animosity towards her. So you go to the end credit. In the end credit scene, you see Wanda chilling, you know what I'm saying, having some tea. It's tea time in the mountains. And a lot of people are speculating this is the mountains of Mount Lagore. I believe where Chthon actually wrote the Darkhold at that time. Wouldn't surprise me if they did that. It's a part of the comics, a part of the story. So she's in there. You see her making tea. And the way the camera kind of like pans, like we're going inside of her home. Wanda gets the tea out. Then you look and you go into her room, and there's an astral projection of Wanda reading the Darkhold. And while she's reading and she's flipping pages and she's doing the Doctor Strange thing, you hear her kids scream out, "Mom, help me, Mom." And she looks up, and then you see the swipe of red. Man, because Agatha said, you exceed the power of the Sorcerer Supreme. Doctor Strange, you gonna need some help, bro. You gonna need some help. You gonna need Burn Mordo, all of that. You gonna need the homies. Cause man, if she exceeds your power, she gonna beat the brakes off of you. Pop, pop, pop. She gonna beat the brakes off of Doctor Strange if it's 1-on-1. And that's why I believe. Now I'm getting to some theory crafting. This is why I believe that they did the show the way that they did, starting with the way that it started off by them showing the sitcoms first, then showing Monica's story, then showing the story of Agatha, then starting the story of Monica going through the grief, because really this is a great this show was actually showing a great projection of what happens when you go through grief. A lot of people didn't like Joker because it wasn't the Joker that you was looking for when you start looking at Batman movies. You want Joker and Batman fighting. That's all you really care about. Action, pal, story is later, but I just want to see Joker going against Batman and doing Joker stuff and Batman doing Batman stuff. I totally understand that. But what made Joker, the movie Joker, so unique, and they did this in WandaVision, was showing mental health and showing the stages of mental health and what is real and what is not real when you look at it in the mind of a mentally ill person. And this was Wanda's vision of what she wanted in her life. I wanted Professor X or Dr. Doom and all this. I'm actually glad that they didn't, because it made me understand Wanda more as a villain, not a hero. Wanda's a full fleshed out villain. Ding, 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 ding. Maybe I am the villain. She said that to Monica after she tried to slam her, and Monica found out Monica got some powers. Like, oh, where'd you get that from? She is a villain that you want to feel sympathetic about, because she went through grief, and her only way for her to deal with the grief is live a lie. Was live a lie in her own truth. The same thing they did to Thanos. The same thing they actually started to do with Loki, where we know Loki is not to be trusted, but you like him so much, you start to become sympathetic of him. Wanda is a full fleshed out villain now. So when she's doing this stuff to get her kids back, you don't feel bad, because you're like, oh man, she's just trying to get her kids back. But was it right for her to create this hex? This actually makes Director Hayward's attempt to destroy Wanda actually valid. No matter how dickish he was to going about doing it, it actually validates a lot of the things that he was doing. We didn't like it. He was a B-list type of villain, but I understand. I'm gonna do any and everything to go ahead and stop this from before it gets worse. So we didn't like his methods of going about doing it, but yet I understand, because Wanda was going through grief. And when you go through grief, you sometimes do things that are contrary to what you really want to do. That wasn't right, but I'm going through. And the saying hurt people is the absolute truth. And that's what you saw here. Think about it. And I'm going to break this down. And people probably not going to like this analogy, but it sounds very familiar that you go to somewhere, you capture a bunch of people, you tell them that I'm making your lives better, even though that they're going through pain, hurt, and anguish, because you want to create something, a vision of an American dream for your own self. No matter if you're hurting these people or not, even though you try to emancipate them, they still going through your hurt and grief. And then you get mad because they looking at you crazy. Doesn't that sound like the premise of the creation of America? You got mad because you couldn't do what you want to do here, so you enslaved a bunch of people and you captured a bunch of people in their own land and then recreated it in your own image and then gave them little bits and parts and say you need to be happy on this. I'm just saying, not so much of a stretch, but I'm just saying that's what you did. And you're kind of a villain for that. In the eyes of the people who's seeing it from the detrimental standpoint, everybody else that benefited was happy. Vision, even though he knew it was a lie. Her kids, even though that they didn't know this was a lie. But those ones who benefited from it, the families benefited from it. But the people around her was like, is you crazy? You choked me in all of this. You had me living this nightmare. For what? So you can be happy? Just let me go. Let me die. Man, this is no different. No different than what Killmonger said. I'd rather die. I'd rather be just throw me in the ocean with the ancestors to jump from the ship because they knew bondage. I mean, they knew death was better than bondage. Do you see how storytelling comes full circle, y'all? This is why I like Marvel. This is why I always like Marvel comics. I think I'm shaking the camera. This is why I always like Marvel comics because you have superpower people that's just dealing with being human. Just dealing with just human stuff. As powerful as Scarlet Witch is, she's going through human trauma. The 5 stages of grief, trying to get over hurt and pain. And in the process of that, she was going through hurt and pain herself. I'm just saying, if you look at it in a roundabout way. Now, let's go to characters and let's break this down. Let me just gotta give you my thoughts on each character. Elizabeth Olsen is Wanda Maximoff. If she don't get an award for this, something is wrong. Something is wrong. She killed it. And this was good. For the simple fact is that these Disney Plus shows you do not need to see all these particular people just show up in these movies. The Dr. Dooms and stuff like that. Make it a singular story about a person and what they're going through. People will start to understand later because you want to save your big guns for the movie. But wouldn't if I teased that Dr. Doom was going to be in the next Avengers movie, you are going to watch the Avengers movies. You do not want me to tease that in the Disney Plus show just to get subscribers. Yes, I'm gonna make some money on it, but the big money is in the theater. Let's keep it real. Because let's not forget, Captain America Civil War introduced us to people that we flipped about. Spider-Man and Captain America. Yes. Sorry, y'all. I'm in the middle of recording. Yes, I'm recording right now, son. I will talk to you in a minute, okay? Okay, shut the door. This is what happens when you go live. But you got introduced Black Panther and Spider-Man in that movie. Did we not all freak out when we seen Spider-Man and Black Panther? And then we knew Black Panther was getting his movie. We knew Spider-Man was getting his movie, right? And that's what you anticipated. Man, I can't wait to go see Black Panther. I wonder what they're going to do. I wonder if they're going to do this. We're going to go do that. Man, I swear to God, I'm wearing my so-and-so and so-and-so because I can't wait for this to be able to be seen. You got hyped. You anticipated it. And then when it came out, we absolutely spent our last hard-earned dollar going to go see that in the movies, enjoying it with everybody else. Us in our African garb, our Dora Milaje, our Black Panther suits, our Zamunda outfits, all of this because we knew what was coming. Same thing with Spider-Man. People got excited because Spider-Man was now in the MCU. Now I get to be able to enjoy a Spider-Man movie that is not the origin story that we seen before in 2 previous installments. Now we get to see this. We got to see that. We still got to see a coming of an age of a story. We went and flocked, and hardcore fans spent their last earned dollar wearing Spider-Man shirts, Spider-Man caps, and all of this stuff. To go and see the characters that we enjoy. Simple. So now that the character of Monica Rambeau has been established, now we can anticipate what she's going to do in Captain Marvel 2. Now that we have Wanda Maximoff fully established as the Scarlet Witch, now we can be able to anticipate her now in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now we can be able to see how this happened. And again, I like the cohesiveness of the story. They gave you her vision first. This was so dope about watching this from episode 1 to on, because you got to see how she created it at the end. But you see the beginnings of it as she's playing this role from the beginning. And everything's all hunky-dory and it's black and white, and she's living her Mary Tyler Moore, Dick Van Dyke Show life. right? She's living it. She's living her truth. And now you get to see her in this other light now. And hold on just for a second. I'm starting to get a lot of static going on here. Hopefully it's not static that I'm let's pop that up. Hopefully it's not static that I'm seeing, but you get to see her in all of her glory. And you get to understand her now. Now, again, like I said, she's more sympathetic. She's a sympathetic villain now. Because when she started doing villainous stuff to get her kid, she's already showed you she's a full-fledged villain. She just showed you that. You know what I'm saying? Now you get to understand why. And this is what they need to do with these Disney Plus shows. Establish particular characters in that show. Don't give me Evan Peters as Quicksilver in that show. Have her rip open the multiverse and have him, the same Evan Peters, if they're going to do this, and I think this is what they're going to do. Oh, yeah. I was getting the characters. But, okay, Elizabeth Olsen, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm getting excited. But Elizabeth Olsen needs to win the award for this. Awesome. Paul Bettany was completely awesome. So emotional. I didn't know he was that funny. He's very good comedic timing. Very good comedic timing. Especially the episode in episode 8. Very good comedic timing when it came to the way he was acting when they did the Modern Family type of thing. That was funny. Catherine Hong has to win like the best supporting character or something. Man, she was awesome. This is from IMDb. They had Evan Peters as Peter Maximoff. I'm not reading too much of this because anybody can, kind of like do this, but it wouldn't surprise me that they just did that just to see how fans will react to him as like, he's just boner. Oh man, see, I told y'all they didn't care nothing about the Marvel, the Fox universe and blah, 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 blah. And they snatched that dude. They make a scene where he's still doing the Quicksilver thing, but in Multiverse of Madness, because they already said that Jamie Foxx is coming to Electro is coming to Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home. They already said Doc Ock from the Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man was coming to No Way Home, the new Spider-Man movie. It wouldn't surprise me if they teased him just to see what people would think about him. If they would get excited. Think about this. Oh my God, y'all. Look at the marketing. Think about this. You're so upset because you didn't get to see him in his true light, and then they end up pulling a fast one on you and pulling him over here from anyway. They just want to see how he would look and how you would react to him if you really are excited about this dude being in this movie. I'm just saying. I'm just speculating. No, I'm not saying it's true, but I'm just saying. Let me see. Let me go back. Kat Dennings. Oh my God, y'all. Kat Dennings, y'all. Whew. Yeah. Kat Dennings is my girl, yeah. Hey. Two Bro Girls. I used to watch that just for some Kat Dennings. Tiana Paris is Monica Rambeau, y'all. Oh man, she was awesome. Man, Tiana Paris, man, she killed it. I cannot wait for her because, and I'm glad again. These single storylines, these single, it's like comic book issues. I'm telling you, y'all, if y'all really into comics, then you will understand exactly what they're doing. They're doing this like comics. This is what comics do all the time. They do a singular story. They do a one-off series on purpose. And then once they flesh out the story of the individual in the story, then they introduce them in a bigger storyline so you can be able to understand the character better. So when you see him in a particular team up movie, team up comic or whatever, then you kind of understand. But Tiana Paris, y'all. Woo! Shout out to E-Man and E-Man's movie review. He got to interview her, man. I'm so jealous. So jealous of him. Randall Park is Jimmy Woo, y'all. We gotta have some more Woo. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing up with. Man, awesome. Completely awesome, y'all. Josh Stanberg was director Tyler Hayward. I kind of like his character because he was your standard television villain, which honestly, I don't think he was much more of a villain than Wanda Maximoff was. You didn't like his tactics, but he was trying to say to people of Westview, and the only way to go in his eyes was to kill Wanda Maximoff. And because she enslaved the whole town, I kind of ain't mad at him. You know, yeah, did he have to lie, do some maneuvering, and kind of get on her nerves? Yeah, he had to. Other characters that was that was in there was cool. The kids that played Wicked and Speed were awesome. Billy and Tommy, they were awesome. I really liked them. I really liked the little kid who played Tommy. He's just so fun. You know what I'm saying? He was a fun kid. You could tell he was having fun on set. Overall, I would give this literally, if I was to rate this series, dog, I might have to give it a 10 out of 10. Because again, I understand comics and I understand what they were trying to do. And actually, this wasn't supposed to come out first. This was supposed to come out after the Eternals movie. And the Eternals is going to actually talk about the Eternals and the Deviants. You know what I'm saying? This is where you get your story of the X-Men because of the X gene of the Eternals trying to mate down with humans. Same story from the Bible when the fallen angels was mating with the humans. You know what I'm saying? So this is the same story. And you have the giants and stuff like that. It's literally the same story as so. The Eternals was supposed to come out then. This wasn't supposed to come out until way later on. But because of the pandemic, you wasn't able to get your story the way it was supposed to go. But I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10, y'all. 10 out of 10 because I understand. And I understand how they tried to flesh out a character. So if she is evil, you know why. Go back and watch WandaVision. And with the people who is just kind of like, you don't really have to watch this to understand the movies, not kind of understand that premise. But when you were like, wait a minute, I thought she was a good guy. Go back and watch WandaVision and tell me if any of those actors was of somebody that was a good guy. Just ask me. Just tell me. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Tell me if this is something that a hero actually does. And that's why I like Agatha, because she broke it down. Said, is this a hero just enslaves everybody? Is that what they do? No, that's not what a hero does. A hero doesn't do that. And that's what she did. That's why I believe she is going to be the main antagonist of the Multiverse of Madness. Now, where do I see this going forward? We got Falcon and the Winter Soldier just coming up. I am going to be doing reviews on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I am going to do a review on Zack Snyder's Justice League also. I'm going to do a review on that. It's 4 hours. So is Wanda a mutant or no? Well, in the comics, she was a mutant. Then they retconned her, said she wasn't a mutant. So we don't know just yet. We don't know how they're going to play that story. Only thing, Jesse, we're going to have to do is just continue to watch. And again, if you read comics, man, comics will literally have you pulling out your hair because you will start a story and then you will deviate to something else. You'll be like, what the hell is going on? Because that other portion of that story is in a whole nother book. And we're like, dude, come on. There's a story called Cat Trap where Deadpool goes to Wakanda to steal the Panther from Killmonger. But you don't get that story in just Deadpool. It's Deadpool number 45, number 44. Deadpool number 44, and then Black Panther number 23. You have to get both issues to get the story. That's how you would be like, what is it? That's exactly what they're doing. Welcome to us, comic book nerds, when you start talking about comic books. This is exactly what they do. They don't just hold it in just one story. So again, do you have to watch these Disney Plus shows to kind of get a brief understanding? I would say, yeah, you don't have to, but if you have questions, you can always go back and then start tying up the loose ends. But we got Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming up. We got Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I'm gonna do a review. That's a 4-hour movie. So, whoo. Yeah, dog. That's gonna be a grind. So I am going to do a review on that. Hopefully that's good. I'm gonna do a review on Mortal Kombat. Everything that's coming up, y'all, I'm going to do a review on. So make sure that you stay tuned. If you didn't see the last episode that I did a review on Coming to America. Still have to tell y'all kind of chill out on Coming to America, y'all. Some of y'all taking it a little too far, y'all. Some of y'all still taking it a little too far. But I said my piece. I did my critique. It is what it is. Also, got more stuff coming up, y'all. So make sure you just stay tuned to the Dre Mac Show. Make sure that you guys are still checking out the channel. If you haven't, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm about to start moving a lot of content over in the next couple months. So make sure that you are following. If you want to follow me and follow my reviews, make sure that you're checking us out on YouTube. Make sure you hit the bell notification and subscribe. So you never miss one of my videos. And until then, did I miss anything? Maybe Wanda warped my mind. I don't know. I think I got everything, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm gonna hit y'all up later. If you got any more comments, make sure that you guys are just hitting it up in the comment section. I love y'all. Peace out. Shalom to everyone. I'm gone. That don't work.
What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is your man Dre Mac with another episode of the Dre Mac Podcast Show.